Coming up on Dispatch Pacific, we bring you a special Independence Day report. See how the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific travels all over Asia to strengthen relationships and build ties with partners across the region through the international language of music. I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam with the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific, where they're getting set up right now for tonight's Independence Day celebration. Organized by the U.S. Consulate's office, the event brought the band all the way from their home at Yokota Air Base to help commemorate the U.S.'s 241st birthday. Ho Chi Minh City, formerly and still commonly called Saigon, became a part of South Vietnam following the First Indochina War. When North Vietnamese troops captured Saigon, the city was renamed by the Hanoi government after Ho Chi Minh, a Vietnamese communist revolutionary leader and a key figure in the foundation of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam and the People's Army of Vietnam. Fast forward to present day, Ho Chi Minh City is the most populated city in the country and is known as one of the fastest growing cities in the world economically. Vietnam remains an important ally to the U.S., and U.S. leaders have expressed their continued commitment to support Vietnamese maritime security and deepen their defense relationship. In a show of strong partnership and commitment, the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific is here in Vietnam to break down barriers, build bridges, and help strengthen relations through the international language of music. But before the band can get to rocking, a lot must happen behind the scenes to put on a show. The band's guitarists, Staff Sergeant Alberto Rosado Perez and Staff Sergeant Aaron Wybe, and bassist Staff Sergeant Emily Wheaton bring their own axes from Japan, while Staff Sergeant Ben Johnson has a different story.
Some guys have the pleasure, the luxury of bringing their own axe, like a guitar, with them. We don't have that luxury since it's such a huge instrument, but I do have the pleasure of using their equipment, which is nice because we can just show up and play.
For Master Sergeant Julie Bradley and Staff Sergeant Joanne Griffin, their voice is their instrument. But just having the band assembled still doesn't mean they're ready for a show just yet. The audio engineer, Senior Airman Nate Martin, has a huge role in bringing everyone together.
So as the audio engineer, once the system is set up and in place, it's my job then to make sure the musicians can hear on stage, but also make sure that it sounds good out for the audience. Gear is all provided from the sponsors, so we have to sort out what works for us and what doesn't, and then get the sound system up and running from scratch. So going through that step now. Then we're going to get ready to play music for the first time, check the volumes, make sure everybody's happy, and then we'll get ready to play the show.
It's going to be good. We've done things like this in the past, and it tends to go pretty well. Audience, I mean, it's a big party, so we're trying to just give them what we can to make that party fun.
With setup and sound checks out of the way, the band is back and ready to rock.
We are the United States Air Force Band of the Pacific. We came all the way here from Tokyo yesterday just for this event. It's the 241st Independence Day celebration, and we're really excited about it. It's really exciting to be able to bring together different nations and build friendships upon that.
Well, music is an international language understood by all, and music helps to break down barriers and build bridges and help strengthen that bilateral relationship that we have with Vietnam.
Well, it's the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific, so it's going to be an awesome performance, I guarantee it. I've heard them before, they're amazing. And, you know, people love it when they get to hear American music from an American band. And here in Vietnam, where we have sky-high popularity, people are going to enjoy it very much. Well, it's the international language. You don't have to understand all the tones of Vietnamese. You don't have to understand all of English for us to understand one another. So having the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific come here tonight really does help us thank our friends and celebrate our Independence Day.
Well, I was in the Air Force in the early to mid-'60s and at the Air Force Academy, and then I was a rock promoter in the mid-'60s until the late '60s. And knew a lot of the greats and promoted a lot of the greats. And I have to say that this group, the way they mix the genres, and they're very good with each genre. I mean, back then we were, you know, we had to be pure. We were either R&B or we were rock or we were country. You know, except for people like Buddy Holly, you didn't mix them, you know, but they're very good at what they do.
The band really makes the atmosphere of tonight is very different because I have been enjoying this California July for many times since I came back in Vietnam. This is one of the best one ever. It's great.
And while the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific's rock band wrapped up their concert in Vietnam, another group with a little more swing was getting ready to head out a little further west.
1, 2, 1, 2,
That's right. I'm here in India with the U.S. Air Force Band of the Pacific Brass, as they're here to build relationships and participate in cultural exchange.
The U.S. Embassy in New Delhi's Independence Day event celebrated travel and tourism between the U.S. and India with the use of classic American music.
The theme for tonight's event is 4 great cities in America: Nashville, New Orleans, Memphis, and Detroit.
The 4 cities aren't usually seen as tourist attractions, but are the birthplaces of classic American music genres. Pacific Brass performed songs that represented each city for their guests.
India this year became a U.S. major defense partner, which is why we're particularly happy to have the brass band here to celebrate our great partnership.
I think it's a great opportunity to interact with the local and other people we work with and share our culture and experience. And especially for this kind of design we have for the theme, music. India is very diverse, like a U.S., and democratic country, diverse country, and rich with the music.
After the Independence Day event, the band held a small concert for underprivileged children in an arts school.
They performed for the Indian Youth for Revolutionary Changes, or IYRC, and taught the children about each instrument played.
The best part was when they played a song about the aircraft Navy airmen. I like all the instruments. I learned about all of them from the instructors.
It's called the French horn.
Both forms of music are acts of peace in their genres. The key objective of both forms of music is to spread peace in the entire world. Thank you to the Air Force and the U.S. Embassy and those who performed. I feel fortunate for getting close to American music.
When the concert finished, the band answered questions and took pictures with everyone. Pacific Brass traveled to the American Center to perform with the Indian Air Force Band.
So there's perhaps no better way to show the growing partnership between our two nations than to perform together.
Both bands performed classic songs before playing together for the final song of the night.
And their tunes as well as our tunes, we can share each other. We have to work together and more. The same way when we are coming to your country, so we have to perform your tune. So though we were working together, naturally we will share together.
Master Warrant Officer Alfred also said that this was the second time the Indian band has played with another country's band, and he looks forward to more performances in the future.
We're here at the DLF Promenade as the Pacific Brass is about to start their public performance for the local community.
One of the reasons that we come to places like the DLF Promenade Mall is to interact with the local population of each community. Here in New Delhi, there are many people that may never see a U.S. military uniform, but playing music and showing the uniform here has a way of breaking down some of the barriers and maybe misconceptions that the people may have of the United States and its military.
From all of us at AFM Pacific, thanks for watching.